And we are live. Thank you all very much for joining us live, and everyone watching this back is recording. We greatly appreciate that as well.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Oh, we got some feedback now.
I think we might be hearing some static from Patty's side.
So tonight we're joined by Desiree. She's the daughter of Tela Hart, and Patty. She's the sister of Tela. Thank you both for joining us.
You're welcome.
It's amazing. We sat there for 20 minutes talking to these two wonderful ladies, and there's no feedback.
Yeah, Patty, do you have the phone close to something electronic or something that's making the sound echo?
No. I'm just sitting at the table and hear my purse.
Ooh. Oh, there's a lot of crackling and static. Sorry.
All right, so I think she's going to try to move.
Okay, sorry about that, everyone.
So, Desiree, if you don't mind starting, tell us a little bit about your mom, Tela, and what she's like growing up as a child. You know, what kind of mom was she?
So I didn't live with my mom, actually. My father raised me. My mom would come and go, which was perfectly fine. My relationship with my mom was a little bit on the rocks. But anytime she was around, she was a woman that would give you anything you needed. If she had $1 and you asked her for that $1, she would give that to you. That's actually me and my mom in that picture. She would give you the shirt off her back. She was very kind. She was very loving. She was what some people would call a people pleaser. She would do whatever to please whoever. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of mom she was. I had 2 other siblings with her, and we were all raised by my dad.
We might have to. Yeah, sorry, Patty. We might have to ask you to leave and come back and see if that might fix the microphone. I'm not sure if that maybe even restarting your phone. It seems like there might be some static buildup or something. It's acting a little bit funny. Sorry about that. Okay. Sorry about that.
Never fails. The minute we go live, something like that happens.
something breaks somewhere.
Yeah.
Hopefully Pat doesn't feel like we're attacking her. It's nothing personal, I swear.
No, she's very understanding. She's very understanding.
Great.
She'll come back in.
Okay.
So did Tela have a lot of friends that you know of, Desiree?
She did. She had a lot of friends, a lot of acquaintances. My mom was a free spirit. I call her a free spirit. She'd come and go. She liked going with the fairs. She would go to different fairs and be there with them. Patty, you still got static.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe restarting the phone would solve the problem and turning it off and on again. Sometimes that can discharge any static buildup or something. Sorry about that.
She would go with the fairs. So my mom was 16 when she got pregnant with me. So she was very young.
I was going to say that in this picture here, she looks really young.
Yeah, she was very, very young. She had me at 16. She had my sister at 18. And then she had my little brother when she was 22, I think. I was 5, so...
Yeah, it's just about the same for my mom, actually. Yeah, my oldest my mom was 16 with him, 18 for me, and then I think 20 for my youngest brother.
Oh, I do. So Samantha Carrier had posted in a group where I had shared this event. I did ask her to put this on here because I thought it was kind of a neat story. It says, Tela was my mom's best friend. She was a free spirit. A wild card. She was at my godmother's house at a party and was supposedly on her way to my house to babysit me in the morning when she disappeared. I remember a couple days before they found her, I was sitting for the bus and saw her at the end of the long driveway leaning against a tree waving to me. I ran inside to get my mom saying Tela is home, and we came back out and she was not there. I fully believe her spirit came to say goodbye to me. So I thought that was
wow.
Yes.
Had you ever heard that, Desiree?
Yeah, Sam. I know Sam. Her and I are actually. I still have contact with Sam. Her mom was Christy, and they were very close. My mom actually stayed with them for a while when my mom was having a low moment, and Christy would take her in, and she would help with the kids. So Sam was very close to my mom. That was the thing about my mom, is my mom had kids that weren't biologically hers because she was so close to everybody.
Right.
We were one big family.
And I'm sure everyone knew everyone up there, right?
Oh yeah, everyone knew everyone.
And Camille McCoy says, I love seeing these pictures of my beautiful Grammy. Also, hi, Mama.
Hi, Camille. That's my oldest baby. She was 4 when this happened, so she never really got to meet her.
Oh,
But
man.
it reminds me a lot of my mom. My oldest daughter reminds me a lot of my mom.
So, if you don't mind, can you start going into, because obviously she had been missing for a while. Can you go into the disappearance and what happened that you guys are aware of? Oh, actually, no, hold on. Patty's back up. Let's see if her audio works okay.
Can you hear us, Patty?
Yep, I come out in the truck.
Oh, well, we hear you just fine now. No more crackly static stuff.
So, before you get there, Desiree, Patty, you grew up with Tela. Can you describe her, what it was like growing up with her?
I actually, to tell you the truth, did not even know her very much.
Oh, really?
Just by what, yeah. What I know is actually what my mother-in-law had seen, because she lived on the same street where Tela had gone missing that night. But as far as growing up with her, my son knew her more than I did.
So how did that work out? Did your parents separate and you never really got to see your sister very much?
I was adopted as a child out of the whole family.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So, what do you guys know about
Yeah,
the night that she went
but-
missing?
Oh.
What have you heard?
So the night she went missing,
My mother-in-law.
Go ahead,
sorry.
Patty.
Go ahead, Desi.
The night that she went
Okay,
missing, I was
my
actually-
mother-in-law.
There's a little bit of a delay. All right, so I'm going to have Desiree start. Go ahead, Desiree.
So the night she went missing, I actually got a phone call from my Aunt Sue, who did grow up with my mom.
Mhm.
And it was, I can tell you the exact time, it was 12:15 in the morning. My youngest daughter was sick and she was in the bed with me and my phone was ringing and I'm like, what's going on? So I answered it and it was Aunt Sue and she said, Desiree, we'd like to let you know that your mom went missing. We can't find her. And I thought it was a dream at first. So the next morning I went to her house and everybody was there. And that's when we realized it was real. And I said, did anyone file a missing persons report? And they said that it had to be a next of kin. So I went and filed the report. Me and my Aunt Gail, who should be joining us soon, we went and filed the report. And that's how I remember it. Officer Selfridge continuously told us that he thought she fell in the river. That she was at a party. She was using drugs, drinking alcohol. She left the party, slipped and fell in the river.
And how did he come up with that?
That's what he was told by the people that had attended the party.
So someone there had told him that she fell in the river, or just that she was, using substances and drinking?
They told her, they told us that they had told them that she was using substances and she was drinking and she had started to walk. And apparently she was homeless and living under the bridge in Presque Isle. So they assumed that she had gone under the bridge to sleep or whatever and had fallen into the river.
Okay. And Patty, is that the same thing you had heard as well?
No. My mother-in-law lived on the street. She lived on the street by the river. She heard a girl screaming and she was in her bedroom. So she opened up her bedroom window and she seen a girl running and a vehicle behind her. And the vehicle stopped and they grabbed her and put her in the vehicle, but she kicked and got away and ran again and tried to hide, but they found her. So my mother-in-law called the police and told them that a young girl was in trouble. Could they please come? Well, yeah, the police in Presque Isle. Anyway, by the time the police got there, they had got her again and got her in the vehicle. My mother-in-law explained to them it was an old vehicle, the color and everything. And she called the police. Well, when Gail went to investigate all this, the police had no record of my mother-in-law's call.
Wow.
But my son had been at that same party back then, and he knew Tela. And they were all using and drinking, and he had left the party before Tela had left. So he didn't know anything about it until the next day when I mentioned to him, were you still at the party when Tela left? And he said no, he was not there. Him and his friends had left. So they were all using and drinking. So
the audio is still pretty rough.
Yeah.
Hold on
Oh, we
So-
got Gail. Is going to
Gail's
be
another
joining us. Let's see what this does to all of us. Okay, this makes us tinier. Hello, Gail.
Hello.
Can you hear us just fine? Oh, can you hear us, Gail?
I'm going to read this comment from Samantha. She says, I was told because he was staying with us, or she was staying with us at the time, it was on the way to our house that she stopped up by the river to go to the restroom because she was drunk, and that the search dogs did find her urine. Desiree, had you heard that before, that dogs had tracked her down to the river?
Yes, the dog Hunter, the dog's name. Actually, it was an officer that I knew personally because he lived in Washburn, and we knew him personally. The dog had tracked her to the river, and that's where it stopped tracking. So that's why they assumed she was in the river somewhere.
And what kind of search did they do? Did they bring in boats or anything? Did they search the river?
So we did, I know for a fact that they did a search on foot. They searched the river. They brought in divers. They brought in a team from, I want to say it was probably from Maine, I think. Aunt Gail, was it from Maine, the team that came in?
Oh, I think she just lost connection.
Oh, so they brought in a whole team. So I wasn't involved a lot in the search. My children were 1 and 4 at the time.
Okay.
We also weren't 100% sure what happened to my mother at the time. I knew that my mother was into drugs. I knew that she dealt with drug addicts. So I was protecting my own children as well.
Did Patty's mother-in-law know Tela?
Yes. Yeah.
Did she ever mention when she talked to the cops that she thought it was Tela?
I don't know, Aunt Patty, did she?
She didn't know it was Tela at the time.
Okay.
She just knew it was a young girl screaming and telling them, to get away from her. She was going with them. But then they finally got her and put her in the car. By the time the police got there, they were already gone. So
Was it more than
it's
one
nice
male?
to see that.
But she was running down towards the river, when my mother-in-law seen her. She was running towards the river.
And this was the same night that Tela went missing, correct?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
It's nice to see that the Presque Isle Police Department still handles things as professionally now as they did back in 2005.
Yeah.
I'm joking, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a comment here from Eric's mom, actually. Eric Foote.
Yeah.
Where'd that go? Yeah,
It
so
was
Brenda
way up
says,
towards the top. There we go.
I know this is way premature to make comment or ask a question, but how, after being found after 2 years, can the examiner determine drowning? Did they say it was drowning, or did I just add that in on the description of this? Oops, sorry.
They did not say that it was drowning. So when my mother was found, she was actually...
Let's just adding Gail back in.
When my mother
trying to get on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear us, ma'am?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can. Absolutely.
Sorry I'm late, but I was at Bible study.
No, that's absolutely fine, ma'am.
So when my mother was found, Aunt Gail can tell you how she was found, actually.
Where would you like me to start? I apologize, I'm late.
Oh, that's okay.
No, you're absolutely fine. So we're commenting on this, responding to a comment here from Eric Foote's mom, who went missing and was found up in or near
It's
Presque
the
Isle,
same-
but
Same area.
same area. What she says, I know this is way premature to make a comment or ask a question, but how, after being found after 2 years, can the examiner determine drowning? Eric was found 84 days later, and they could not determine drowning. Now, was when Tela was found, did they say that the cause of death was drowning?
No. When our
Okay.
sister was found, literally, I was the case manager at the time, and I was in very good mood. Excuse me about this window. And I got the call from the Selfridge that she was found. What it was, my sister, I don't know how far you guys got, but apparently the first winter, all we heard from the drunks, and I'm pretty sure the ones that was involved in killing her, she didn't drown and she didn't even go in the river. She was put into an abandoned building. We searched every abandoned building that we could think of. We never found her. And then the following spring, we had a huge, very huge search. The first year, right up until winter, we couldn't do any more. I will say Presque Isle Search and Rescue worked diligently to find my sister. Diligently. The wardens. And then they were going to back out. And so I went down just before spring, and I said, look, I don't care. I drove all the way down here to Sydney, Maine. You will become a part of the search, because I don't care if my sister's missing, and I don't care if she's lost. Missing means, well, we might find him, we might not. Lost, we'll search for them. Because those things, my sister went to rivers, more in the woods, correct? So, anyway, again, we did not find her that following Mother's Day weekend. The very first spring, we did not find her. We kept looking and looking. Demon came up from Bangor. They did flybys. Again, we had to suffer through another winter. But then we were told, well, dummies, stay out of the river, because now you're going to find her in 3 pieces in a shallow grave. And that's all we heard until we were able to start.
Who told you that?
Oh, it was just the rumors. It was just rumors through Presque Isle. The first whole winter into the spring, before we had the big search, they said that she was cut up in 3 pieces in an abandoned building. Just look and you'll find her. I know it come from the people that killed her. My sister did not. See, I don't know what Desiree told you, but the cops went to the trailer with a dog. The dog staggered down Milliken Street, crossed the street we grew up on, right with a nice bright street light, supposedly went into the grass and fell in the river. And they claimed that she was there, and sooner or later we would find her. However, go ahead.
When she was found, because they were claiming she unfortunately was cut up in pieces or something, was it the whole skeleton?
I think we had everything. She had been laid face down. The only thing that was left was bones, okay? Because we're talking about 19 months. She was found on my daughter's birthday, May 18th. Her face was down. The torso had moved somewhat. Had the two gentlemen, the gentleman and his son, not found her, we would have lost the torso. And then the waist down to her feet were also, laying like she had been laid face down. And I hate to say this, but my sister used to say all the time, when I die,
I know what you're going to say.
Bury me upside down so the whole world can kiss my butt. So anyway.
That's my father's saying too.
Yeah, but she was fully clothed. This is how I know she didn't drown, okay? Not only from all the rumors, but she still had her bra, her shirt, her leather jacket, which was zipped up. The night I saw my sister, that was not zipped up. She still had on her underwear, her jeans, her socks, and her sneakers. And the sneakers, my cousin Lisa said, they were just as white as the day she probably disappeared. So if you're in a river for 19 months or whatever, then why did we get all of her bones? Why? Right. You know what I'm saying? Granted, it was 3 separate sections. Her neck was cut off of her torso. The torso was not connected to the legs. But when they found her, she was still in her clothing. That's how we had all of her bones. The only thing missing was a pinky and a vertebrae. That's all that was missing from my sister.
Did they say anything like
the shoes were still pure white, like they were brand new?
Just about, yes. Her sneakers.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I fought. I mean, I love Detective Selfridge right to pieces. I mean, that man worked diligently to find my sister. But I kept telling him, he had clothing at that house when the party took place. They could have taken, and here's the other thing. I don't know if Desiree remembers, but they found some clothing and they swore right up and down. It was her friends that swore right up and down those were Tela's clothes. And they probably were. I think how the scent got from the Milliken Street trailer to the river was they took her clothing and drug it down the street, across the grass, and threw it in the river.
So did the medical examiner say anything about the way the torso was cut up? Does it look like it was tool marks? Or they just said it's an accidental death, right?
No, they didn't really say anything. There was no marks in the bones. There was no knife wounds. There was no bullets. I really don't know. I don't know how they got her in 3 sections, but I do know that very first winter when we had to stop, we went from October to January before they told us we can't do this anymore. We're not going to find her. But we did go into January, the end of January, just in case animals had gotten a hold of her or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And nobody has ever made it as far as my sister did. We've had a lot of people go in that river up at that point, even up further. And they only got as far as past the dam a little bit. Mm-hmm. But for her to go up to the Fort Fairfield Road, and here's the key issue. We did not know that Cowett's Garage had built a new garage. So she could have been put into their old garage.
Did the people at the party have any connection to that garage?
I don't think so. I've got names of people who supposedly took my sister's life. I had a young lady staying with me who literally heard people fighting about that night and what happened. Another thing that come to my attention was my sister's mother-in-law saw her coming down Exchange Street and screaming and hollering. And you got to understand, Tela has severe mental illness. She drank, she did drugs. She had a heart of gold, but she had issues. And one of them stemmed from her little boy being beaten to death, okay, by his stepmother. But she said that she saw a car pull up, grab my sister, and drive her head into the door before they even got her. She was fighting so hard that, they just hit her head against the door and then knocked her out and threw her in the back seat and took off with her. Now, not sure what happened after that. But I know there's one gentleman that left town. He's in Tennessee and he won't even come back.
So how sure are you that she saw Tela? Because Patty said that her mother-in-law wasn't sure if it was Tela or not.
Well, yeah. She said she thought it was her, but she wasn't 100% sure. So I'm not sure either. But I have also heard that they were
it makes
all
sense.
on
It's the same night, so.
Well, the same night some lady goes missing for 2 years. I mean, it's definitely something to note, but allegedly that the police never even actually reported it though, right? Or they never saved that information, checked up on it or anything?
Well, what happened, which is really flippin' weird, is because I live down here in Bangor. It was one of Tela's friends that went to the police department and said, Tela's missing. Tela Hart's missing. And the cops are like, what? Yeah, Tela Hart's missing. So they took all the information from Tela's friend, Christy, I don't remember her last name, Desiree might. So they called my sister, Susan, and they said, we understand your sister Tela Hart is missing. Would it be all right to come over and talk with you? And my sister Susan's like, yeah, sure. But I don't know what you're talking about. And because what's a couple of days? Tela, that time of the year, she could have been down to wherever the fair is this time of the year. But anyway, the cops come over and they said, Christy, I don't remember her last name, but she came in, she reported Tela missing. And they're like, why are they reporting her missing? Who said she's missing? And the cops are like, I don't know, but do you know anything about this? And are you, family has to report her missing. And Susan's like, oh, it's only been a couple of days. Why would I? No, it's just, that's my sister Tela. She's probably at friends or somewhere. And I can't remember, Desiree, maybe it was about a week. But we may have had to wait till November 3rd because I told everybody. We need to
ended up reporting her.
We canceled.
Oh,
yeah.
Hold on, Gail.
I ended up going in and reporting it.
Yeah. Well, they did talk to Aunt Sue.
Huh?
They did go and talk to Aunt Sue and Aunt Starlene.
Right, but they had me report it because something about next to kin or something. It was something stupid.
Right. And but I also told them, if Tela doesn't show up for her check on November 3rd, she does not walk into that Social Security office, then we will know something happened. Something's wrong. And because we cut her checks off, I cut everything. I called Social Security. Something's gone wrong. Friends are saying my sister's dead. They're saying she's missing. We have no clue why her friends are, coming forward and saying this stuff. We're used to Tela being gone for a week or 2 or 3, She could have went to the fairgrounds. It's October. Desiree, where's the fair in October here? Freiburg. I said, how do we know she's not in Freiburg? I said, but I tell you what, come November 3rd, she doesn't have her check. She's going to be calling every one of us. And she will come home. She will come home and she'll walk into that Social Security office and she'll raise Holy O Hannah. Right. November 3rd, no sister, no checks, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
So, I do have a question here. It's from Brenda. She's the mother of Eric Foote. What did the autopsy say? Eric supposedly went from Washburn to Caribou in the river. So what did they finally deem her death as?
They basically put unknown because they couldn't tell if she drowned because all we had were bones. They found, like I said, nothing in her bones. Absolutely
no marks
nothing.
or fractures or anything like that?
No scratches, no marks, just that She was severed from, and they didn't even really say what that looked like when they had found her in three pieces. Like, how was her? I mean,
because I mean that could be cartilage will only hold up for so long too, right?
Well,
that could separate.
It's just weird that those three pieces. I guess you're right, Jeff. She could have been laying there.
Right, because you don't know what happened. Right, because there's stuff that. And I'm not trying to sound morbid or disrespectful, but there's stuff that's in the water or close to the water that it's going to want to chew on, stuff like that,
Right. Now, if they had her wrapped up and inside that old building, Cowitt's Garage, for example, because that's where we found her, was behind Cowitt's Garage, near the river. Now, could the bones deteriorate at that point?
Yeah, I mean, the flesh could have. I mean, depending on where it was held, even cartilage, all of that stuff would dry up and separate. It could do the same thing.
Right. Yeah, because nobody ever explained when they found it. Two gentlemen, a gentleman and his son, were fiddleheading, and I guess the kid reached down to get some, and he saw the back of the skull, and he's like, "Wow, this is." And then the sneaker is sticking up. I mean, they were toes sticking up. Do you know what I'm saying? So a body isn't just going to show up and lay there as perfectly as that had. And then Selfridge could see that the torso was, the imprint was between the skull and the waist down. It just happened the water was coming and starting to pull it. So, apparently she had been wrapped up and placed there. Around what time, we don't know. Like I said, it was the second spring that they found her. So we went all winter, spring, summer, fall. And then that's when all the rumors started coming back again that dumbasses, if, don't be so stupid. Now you'll find her in a shallow grave. She'll still be a three-piece, but she's in a shallow grave.
Now, where did these comments come from of people saying this sort of thing? Where did you hear that from?
Oh my God, people were calling the police department. The people Tela hung with would get drunk and high, and they don't know how to keep their mouth shut when they're drunk and high.
So speaking of that, Taylor's friends and associates now maybe you guys didn't know many of them, but did she have any legitimate enemies or
Not really.
I mean, okay.
Not really. Tela was a very loving young lady. She was, well, thanks to the drugs, slightly MR. You know what I mean? A lower cognitive functioning. Was loved by everybody.
Yeah.
She was just the life of the party. And, I watched the video of her leaving the lodge that night. My cousin was running it at the time. And when I watched the video, I saw exactly what she had on. I saw the leather jacket was not zipped up because her little paunch belly was sticking out of it. But yet when they found her leather jacket was zipped up.
Yeah. I mean, just to play devil's advocate, that could have been walking home like it was cold.
Did
zipped
she
up,
leave
keep the wind off?
Did she leave by herself?
No, she left with a gentleman that also stayed at the Clark's Lodge. No, they walked together.
And who was that guy?
To the party. Oh, I don't remember his name. I don't even know who he was, to be honest with you.
Do you know if he was ever questioned about it? He must have been, right?
Oh, yeah, he was questioned because he's the one that said, oh, I got a big knife under my bed and, maybe she'll be cut up. But they couldn't prove him a suspect. And he ended up leaving the party and coming home, and he was on the lodge video coming home and never leaving the rest of the night. So
that's his alibi.
And he didn't do it before because he left before she did.
Gotcha. So Desiree, and I apologize, I have to keep muting each person's microphone. For some reason, there's a lot of feedback tonight, but Desiree, what do you think happened to your mom?
I think that there's some suspicious activity that happened to my mom. I don't know exactly. My mother, like Aunt Gail said, she was found fully clothed. I actually have rings that were on her fingers. I do believe that if you were in a river for 2 years, your daughter wouldn't be able to have those rings. My sister has artifacts from it as well.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Just like if it's in water, just the corrosion alone, would like render that like it would just be a big chunk of rust, or even like gold, whatever, any of that stuff. It's gonna be tarnished like a son of a gun.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna move to Patty. Hopefully your audio sounds a little better now. Patty, what do you think happened to your sister?
I don't know. I really don't know. It mind boggled me, that somebody would do something like that. And my son said she was a sweetheart. I mean, he didn't understand either why was any reason to be after her or hurt her. Everybody knew her at the party. They were all friends, family, friends, whatever.
But that's the thing too, is like evil people don't need a reason to do something evil, right? And clearly, like that's what something like this is like, like you said, like everyone liked her, everyone got along with her, no one had anything against her, but like bad people are going to do bad things.
And Jess has a question for you, Gail. Do you still have a copy of this video that could be shared?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Do you still have a copy of the video that you could share with us at all?
That was at Clark's Lodge.
Okay, so you just watched it there then. It wasn't like you had a copy of it.
I don't know if we could check into that or not, but I would like to say that again, a young lady lived with me, whom I watched when she was a young child, and she lived with the gentleman. May I say his name?
Yeah.
And she heard him arguing with his son over, and she said, this is why I left. Because they were arguing over killing Tela Hart. And I said that, and then April, I'll say her first name. So him and April got in an argument, and she's like, I'm leaving. She says, I know Tela Hart, and I heard everything that you guys were arguing about, and just, I don't know. She's also an alcoholic today, but she did say that she got scared and she left Phil. And she came down around this way near me. She actually lived with me for a while. And the funny thing is, she, as I said, I babysat her when she was 3 years old. She was in my office and she looks at a picture and she says, is that Tela Hart? And I said, yeah. She goes, that's Tela Hart. I said, yeah. And she says, may I ask why you have a picture of Tela? And I said, she's my sister, April. And she was shocked because she partied with Tela. I partied with all these people. Well, I'll tell you what the jerk's name. It's Phil Medore. And he was one of them that was supposedly a part of killing my sister. And Phil Medore's son is the one that was just found about 3 or 4 years ago. His bones were found in Caribou. Now, why would somebody kill Phil Medore's son and then bury his bones? Or maybe he was put in Caribou and rotted. But, April swore right up and down that that's all Phil talked about, and basically there and said, I killed men. I killed ladies before, and I can do the same thing to you. And then apparently when he passed,
do you think April would be willing to go to come forward and talk to the police about it?
We've tried. They don't want to hear it. The lady that's the chief right now, if she's still the chief, my sister Jean and I went out and talked to her, and I told her what I'm telling you. My sister did not go in that river. She was murdered. I've got people that have said things, that know things.
And that's in Presque Isle?
Yes.
The chief at Presque Isle?
And
Did we ever talk to
the chief at the time said, no, it's over. All these years have gone by. This cop is now the chief of Presque Isle. If it's still a female.
Yeah, there's no statute of limitations on murder. It's not just a matter of like it's past time. You know what I mean? Like that's disgusting if that's genuinely the way that they feel about that.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, we went in and she said, no, the chief said, no, that he's not going to dig that all up again. Don't need to put the family through that. And I said, put the family through what? Not fighting
you guys
out.
are already.
You are the family. Like that, you're the one requesting it.
Exactly.
I do want to say
that is their response. I'm sorry for the language, but that infuriates me to no end.
There's a female chief in Presque Isle. That's the same cop that was going to work with me and help me. But the chief at the time said no.
So that might be Chief Kelly, Samantha's saying. Lori has a comment here. Says Tela has a big heart, or had a big heart, and I wish the family closed on her cause of death. There's been a few deaths up here that haven't been solved, and I do want to talk about those as well.
Yeah, we do have a couple of slides. We want to talk about some other things here, and not that we're trying to like diminish what's going on with your family at all, but there's been a lot of stuff in that area.
Can I mention one more thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
In your guys' ear, my sister Jean. Long story, we'll talk about it later, but her brother fell off a ladder in Westfield. No cops were called. Nobody was called. All they did was call an ambulance. The ambulance come, they put his body in it, took him to the hospital, called her and said, you got to come to the hospital because I think we have a relative of yours here. So how can somebody fall off a roof and die? The cops weren't involved. The coroner wasn't involved. So if that's something for a later date, could we at least discuss that later? But for now, I'll go on to what you were doing. But my heart was anybody that's missing a loved one right now.
Yeah, I can't imagine and I spoke to your sister and your niece earlier about this. I've never had to experience this type of thing where I lost a loved one, didn't know where they were, missing or otherwise. So I can only imagine what you guys are going through. I do want to talk about. Oh, go ahead.
Just want to say real quick. Caitlin Cole says, "Love you, Aunt Gail."
Tell her I love her too.
Yeah, she's watching. That was she commented on here, so she's watching right now.
And so, what I found ironic about this case is, she supposedly ended up in the river. She's found on the side of the river by people fiddleheading, which is the same way Eric Foote was found. I believe they were either mushrooming or fiddleheading, and they found Eric.
I believe fiddleheading as well.
Yeah, and it just seems like coincidental, but it's a strange coincidence. And there's something going on up there. I don't know if you guys have.
Was it the same place they found her? Did they find him where they found Tela?
They found him at the Caribou Bridge.
Wow.
It's same river, fairly close in proximity, I think. But yeah, so there's a few people missing up there. If you guys watching haven't heard of these cases, they're I'm glad to finally see that some of these are getting some attention. Ateen Shah, 33 years old at the time she went missing. She wasn't reported missing for like a month and a half till after she was actually missing. And then the cop that took the report is the same one that's involved with Eric Foote's case. He took the report, believed the husband's story that she had gone off to a cruise ship during COVID.
On a cruise, it was a bunch of BS. And honestly, they weren't doing anything until we started talking about it on here. And then it was legitimately 2 days later or a week later that the cops went up there and they sorry again with the language, but they got into the house and they were searching the place.
Yeah, just a beautiful young lady. She has, I believe, 3 children. I may be wrong, maybe 4.
And she's from Malaysia, I believe, right? And I think we spoke to her.
Right.
One of her relatives is who we'd spoken to.
And then...
You're from Presque Isle?
What's that?
Are you from Presque Isle?
We're not. No, I'm from Belgrade, and Jeff lives in Solon. I'll put Jeff's,
we're both
put Jeff's address in the comment section here.
Yeah,
no, I mean, I wouldn't be able to drive to Presque Isle and meet with you guys in person. So that's okay.
No, but you can meet us.
I've thought about going and talking to the chief and say, look, now that you're chief, you can make the decision. Let's reopen my sister's case. because you
Absolutely.
you felt
Yeah,
the
no,
way
for
I
real.
felt. The way she was found, how can you spend that amount of time in the river? How can you still have a necklace laying? You know, I don't know if there was a blanket that they laid her or if they just laid her there, but you're right. How would that, the clothing was still in good shape, you know?
And to what you were saying is, yeah, we're not like close to Presque Isle. Like it was, yeah, like Travis, we were talking about this earlier. It's a few hour drive, but we would still definitely be willing to go there with you.
Oh, I'd go.
And go talk.
Yeah, because I know, because they claim Filmador, and now God rest his son's soul. I don't know why his son ended up dead. His bones ended up being found. But he's living down here. There's a reason Filmador's living down here, other than I know my brother, God rest his soul, almost beat him to death because he thought for sure Phil was one of them. And then there's Kenny Munson, who's in Tennessee. He took off. He knows exactly what happened. He told my cousin, Irvin, exactly what happened. But then again, you know, it's hearsay. But we could never get the cops to listen to us. She fell in the river, and that's all there was to it. And even after we found her, I stood right there and I argued with Selfridge.
Yeah.
I said, how do you find someone completely dressed like this with everything? You're only missing 2 pieces of vertebrae.
And what Brooke is saying too is like, how can your shoes be white if you're in a river for 2 years? You step up for 2 seconds, so my white shoes are dirty for real. Like,
yeah,
that is genuinely one of like that right there is not necessarily a smoking gun, but that means that more attention needs to be put onto this because that is highly suspicious, if nothing else.
And we've always put it on TV, but didn't know how to do it. And then we've had death after death after death in our family, and none of them are fun deaths, believe me. None of them.
No, yeah. I'm very sorry to hear that, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm going to go through these cases real quick. But it's weird. It's all the same area, Aroostook County, within, I think, half hour, 45 minutes of each other, all these people. So this is Teen Shaw went missing from Washburn. Eric Foote went missing from Washburn, later found.
Sorry, I skipped. No, I'm done touching. This is all you.
All right.
I'm sorry.
All right. Let's see. So Stephanie Damron, missing from New Sweden, Maine. 13 of the time she went missing. She's now turned 14. It's a $15,000 reward.
And she's going to be 15 soon here, isn't she?
She still hasn't been found?
She hasn't been found. It will be a year, September 24th.
Oh, okay. I thought it was, okay, my mistake.
The date.
No, she will be 15 soon. Yeah, wasn't it November?
I think
something is her birthday. Yeah.
And then there's Tommy Hoyt. She was last seen Robinson Road in Blaine. It's near Mars Hill. That was July 13th of this year. She's gone missing. It seems like they don't want to find these people up there. There's no one really taking the time to investigate. And then also Christine McClellan. This was just reported within, I think, the last month, but she has been seen since July. And that's in Presque Isle, Maine. There's a lot of people going missing up there. I don't know if it's a trafficking situation or what's going on.
Well, you know, there's a lot of drug activity up there. They'll come from East Millinocket. They'll come from East Millinocket and go clear to Fort Kent with the drugs. My son's 6 feet under the ground.
Presque Isle only has 8,700 people for a population. I mean, all of Aroostook County population is 66,000.
Patty, did you? I think Patty might have something to say. Did you have something to say, Patty?
Yeah, Gail, do you remember our brother Andrew saying that Tela had called him from the party, apparently, or something, and he actually begged her, because he lived just down the road from the trailer park. He just lived right there, and he begged her to come there and spend the night with him and his wife, but she never showed up.
Well, Tela also called Starlene because the cops did have that number because they wanted to know. You know, my sister Starlene says, that's Tela called me. She said she was on her way home to open the window and let her in. And it's like, open the window? What? And Starlene says, well, you know, Tela, open the window. But anyway, yeah, so there was that phone call. That was definitely on the police files. And the reason I never got the police files because they told me it would cost thousands of dollars because it was a full-length 2-year. It would cost way too much money for me to get my hands on it.
And Samantha
we got
says,
a comment here from
Yeah, go
Samantha. Yeah, is that they don't care about drug addicts. It's really sad. They see them as less than, and that is by far the majority of stuff that we talk about on here. Unfortunately, is people who have an addiction or some sort of mental problem, and it only looks like they see it as that's a problem that solves itself. Like they're gone. It's not our problem anymore. Rather than investigating it, and it's like I don't want to bash the cops when it comes to this, but like I don't know how else to see it because when they go missing, like it's the least effort put into finding them.
And then Karen says, "Oh, sorry, go ahead."
Well, I will say that Detective Selfridge himself did stay in touch with us, and
I've heard that name before. Didn't we hear from Selfridge? Wasn't Selfridge involved in something else, Travis?
What's the name?
That name is Selfridge, Detective Selfridge. That name sounds very familiar.
He was a detective in Presque Isle before he retired.
Okay, maybe it was. This name just sounds really familiar. But Karen Levesque says Kazunicki murder was never solved either.
Yeah, and there was was it Virginia?
Virginia Noise? Yep.
Yes. She was never found. Never found.
And we covered Kenneth's case twice with his daughter, Jess. So, Karen, if you haven't seen that, check out our YouTube library. Misty says, been following a girl and her stories who live up that way where a teen is from. Others, too. It needs to be known more. There's some connections she's putting up there that are making sense. Something fishy is going on. She mentioned Chandler Cole, the police officer who got in trouble with falsifying information. And that's on the Eric Foote case. And he's also the first one that took the report on the teen's disappearance. So there's something fishy going on with him, right? And she talks about a teen's husband, how he has some type of connections with others who went missing in that area. So I don't know. Are you talking about Kate, Misty? Is that who you're talking about?
Are you talking to me?
No, I was saying the person that made that comment.
No, the only one that I can remember was Virginia Pictou and then Tela. And then they did find the lady that was burnt up in the pawn shop wood stove. They did.
Jesus.
Yeah. Nobody told you guys about that one?
No.
I don't. Yeah, that. My word.
What is her name? Louise Walsh's daughter. I don't remember for sure what her name was, but it was Louise Walsh's daughter disappeared. So, of course, we found out Selfridge was at the pawn shop. And, of course, I went right straight there because I happened to be up there. And when I got there, he said, Gail, it's not Tela. It is not Tela. It is someone else that's been missing for a very long time. And I said, then you tell me right now what her name is. You need to tell me right now. And I don't know the young lady's name, but it was Louise Walsh's. Now, how, I don't know if it was bones. I don't know how they figured that one out, but they figured it out. So that case got solved. And that idiot that was running it went to prison. And as you did, there's no more pawn shop up there. They got rid of it because, he went to prison.
And this is
to prison for my sister. And there was more than Phil Medor and his son and Kenny Munson, and I don't remember. I do believe that. I believe April McCausland. Seriously, she said she was living with.
Donna is saying it's Star Vining.
Yes.
Okay, that one does sound familiar. The name.
Yep. They figured out that she died. She was in a pawn shop. Yep, that was her name.
Wow.
It's one thing, right? Like, sure, people die. There's accidental deaths, that sort of stuff, but there's so much that happens in Aroostook. It's I don't know if it's something in the water, but people go missing and people die in suspicious ways. Oh my word.
I can tell you
yeah,
about East and Fort Kent that the cops aren't doing anything about. I can tell you about 2 or 3. I was up visiting my son. Really
Someone,
quick. Go ahead.
yeah,
I'm
go ahead. Someone put that in the comments that we should just do an episode with you about everything going on up there in northern Maine.
Gail, we're gonna have you back on in a week or two, and you're just gonna you're gonna give us everything beforehand. We'll do the research and we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, because Fort Kent's letting everybody die and get away with it. They're just it's ungodly real. When you sit in the living room and people come running in and laughing about somebody with a cognitive disability being pushed out of a vehicle and left to die, that was sad. I mean, I even have contact with that young man's mother. And yeah, I can tell you more about that another time. But yeah, what the cops know about it? Nothing. They know exactly who the people were.
Caitlin, your niece says, my aunt Gail could talk for hours.
And I can tell you about a lot of the murders up there, but she's been arrested.
So is Desiree still on here? Or did she leave?
Oh, can you hear us, Desiree? It's all black. I wonder if she might have gotten the same problem she had earlier. She might have to leave and rejoin. All right, we're gonna add this back up here. So this was Eric Foote, and I'm terrible with the dates on things. Travis, I'm already throwing it over to you.
Oh, she's back. Hey, Desiree.
Oh, there we are. Oh, she left again. So we've talked about Eric a few times. We went up and we tried to assist with a search up there. We didn't find anything, but he was found like a week after we went up there near the bridge in Caribou. Someone
he disappeared
out.
January 30th. And I think he was found April 23rd.
Yeah, there was quite a few searches that were involved in that, and actually some of our people who watch us, or at least watch us now, helped us to get us a place to stay while we were up there. But Jess and Stacy put a lot of work into assisting the search for that, and one of his friends, actually Robert's friends, ended up finding him while she was out fiddleheading as well. So that was actually kind of very similar to scenario here, same area, and someone was out fiddleheading and found them by the river. Oh, and I think Gail's trying to talk. Sorry if we have you muted there.
I'm gonna go back to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can hear you.
It seems like that when they're killing people, they're putting them near Fiddlehead or in Fiddlehead fields because they know people go fiddleheading.
There's at least a time to drop a body, right? That's
they know
the trend at least.
Fiddlehead.
So Desiree. Oh, there you are. Sorry. So, if you could say something to, I mean, because you all obviously believe that something happened to your mom and their sister. If you could speak to the people that did something to her, or the people that even may know.
That know something, right?
What would you say to them?
I just want them to come forward. I just want to know exactly what happened to my mom. We all want to know what happened. We want that official closure. Because there's no closure. We don't have that.
Yeah, and then Patty, do you have something you want to say as well before we end?
No, I just thinking,
Okay.
And then Gail, I'll throw it over to you. It's a little harder with 3 people on here, but
I'm sorry. And just come forward. Phil Medora lives down here now. And I just wish all these people that I know were murdered, that they would come forward, but I know they're not going to. There's no way they're going to. And why did Phil Medora's son end up dead and his bones thrown wherever in Caribou? I mean, was he gonna go to the cops and turn his father in? Why is his father living down here?
Yeah.
Why haven't I gone and killed him yet? Probably because God won't let me. But anyway, gentlemen, thank you so much. And
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And this is something we usually ask a little bit earlier on, but yeah, you guys don't have a Facebook page for Tela, right?
Desiree, do you still have your mother's Facebook page?
I think Leanna has it. I'll reach out to you guys. I have Travis on Facebook. I'll reach out to you guys with that information.
If you
guys have anything that you want for us to share, let us know. We've got, I think we're up to 14,000 people who follow us on Facebook. So
15.
Okay, well maybe up to 15. Either way, that's a lot of people that extra eyes that can see this sort of thing. We'll definitely share out anything you guys want to send our way. Without a doubt, we're obviously here to help. And Gail, I wasn't saying that like lighthearted, for real. If you want us to go up there and talk to the police chief sometime, whoever's up there in Presque Isle, we'll make a trip up there with you to have a conversation. So
tell me what you have available, darling, because I'm on Social Security. I volunteer for church, take care of the homeless. Anytime you two, let me know. Desiree will probably go with me, because I'm telling you, if that female, the chief is a female, she's the one who's going to help me.
Mm-hmm.
But the chief at the time said, no, it's over with. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, Samantha said Chief Kelly. Does that sound right?
For the female?
Yes.
I think so. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think me and Travis, I'm not sure what his days are open. I work weekends and sometimes through the week, but we can definitely manage to make something work. So just reach out to us on Facebook, let us know when you're available, and we'll try and coordinate something so we can go up there and try and have a conversation. Whether or not it's fruitful, it doesn't matter, as long as they know that it still matters, that people still give a damn, and that that you guys want answers. So
right. How do I find you on Facebook? What do you wonder?
Just locating the lost on Facebook.
Locate the lost?
Locating the lost.
Locating the
or
lost.
Desiree can point you to us if you're having a hard time. So
The link I sent you on Gail is right to their page. It's right there. All this
And Samantha just said Chief Kelly's gone, but I would have loved to hear you guys talking to her. So I guess she's gone.
Oh, she retired? Well, there's someone else in whatever. We'll talk to whoever we need to. But I do just want to say, as always, thank you very much to everyone who's here in showing support for the families of the missing. Like, you guys always do an awesome job showing love.
Absolutely, yeah.
A lot of thoughtful messages. And I know this, I'm not trying to be selfish with the time here, but I do want to thank everyone also being here, because we did just reach 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. So that's actually kind of a big deal for us. So thank you to everyone for sort of assisting with that. But primarily and primarily, yes, thank you to everyone who's here and helped share these stories out, so that we can try to get some sort of an answers. If people don't ask, then don't ask the questions and they don't get the answers, right? So that's why we're here.
Thank you so very much.
No, thank you guys very much for being on here and sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
I don't know if you had anything
everyone
else,
for
Travis.
joining us. No, I'm all set. Thank you all for joining us, and we wish you all a good night.
Yeah.
5-year-old Taylor Williams led investigators to Alabama this week.
So we have some breaking news from Florida. An arrest has been made in connection.
After years of agony, a glimmer of hope for the family.
Investigators spent hours searching through this house off Pennsylvania Avenue.
What could be a major development in the search for missing Alabama teenager.
Tonight, a stunning twist in the search for Taylor.
Somebody out there knows something.
They want to lay him to rest their way, not by somebody else's way.